When Mitchell was in junior kindergarten, he would just, at home in the mornings, he would start saying, you know, "Oh, I don't think I can go to school today, I don't really feel good." And it was obvious to me that he wasn't physically sick. One morning I remember walking past his bedroom and he had emptied his entire dresser. Every single drawer was emptied on the floor and he was in the fetal position crying. And I said, "You know, what's wrong, sweetie?" And he said, "I can't wear any of my clothes." That's when I started, you know, thinking something must be going on. It couldn't just be, a lot of people will try and say, "Oh, it's just a phase he's going through." And I mean, my gut instinct was that there's no way this could just be a phase. My son was perfectly healthy and happy, you know, just a couple days prior to that. Nathan started exhibiting symptoms when he was 2.5 years old. One morning he woke up and came out of his bedroom and he said, "Mommy, I'm broken." And he started getting teary and I said, "What do you mean you're broken?" And he just said, "I can't speak." And he was having trouble with a stutter that morning. And I believe it was by the end of that day that he just had a complete speech block. He would grunt and kind of grimace. You could see like veins kind of popping out the sides because he was trying so hard to make words come out of his mouth. He would spit, like just like spraying out of his mouth, you know, when he was trying to say words, and he would get really frustrated and it was terrifying to me. So I immediately made him a doctor's appointment. When I took Mitchell to our family doctor at the time, she was not very helpful. She was condescending. She tried telling me that he must just have anxiety because I must have anxiety. And at the time I was actually going through some difficulties in my personal life, and she was aware of that and tried telling me that that was the reason that Mitchell was having all of these troubles. And she took me into another room away from him and was telling me to take deep breaths, even though I wasn't hyperventilating by any measure. It was just incredibly upsetting. It was as though she were blaming me for what was going on with Mitchell. And she had no answers. I can't recall how many doctors we saw between then and the diagnosis. And it wasn't until an episode on the news and they were talking about the strep connection causing like sudden OCD and anxiety. So I immediately went online and instantly knew, as most parents do. Sadly, a lot of parents are diagnosing on their own because they don't have any other option. And I knew the second I started watching any videos or reading online about pandas that was what was going on with Mitchell. It had to be what was going on with Mitchell. I started to wonder if there was a connection between Nathan and Mitchell's symptoms. I went in to see Dr. Edwards. I spoke with her about what was going on with Mitchell, and I started to tell her about what was going on with Nathan. The appointment wasn't for Nathan at the time, but after discussing it with her, she was pretty sure that Nathan had it as well, and then we had a follow-up appointment for him and he was also diagnosed. I think diet change has helped them to some degree, because if they accidentally have gluten, we do see regression for sure, but nothing that we have tried so far has completely brought them back or been consistent, lasting, I guess. And I know a lot of children differ in the way that they present and the way they flare and how often it happens and what triggers it. One of the most confusing things about this disease is how it differs between children. Both of my children have the same set of parents and, you know, the same makeup, yet they are completely different in the way that they present, in the way that they are triggered. We've been dealing with this for almost 11 years, 10 years. And only having been diagnosed almost 3 years ago, we're still fairly new in that trying to find out, you know, what triggers their flare, how to treat their flares, because we haven't found anything that's been really successful yet. What I've learned about my children is that they're like little superheroes. They deserve to wear a cape every single day. I've watched them go through hell and come out the other side and still have their spirit. Still be able to find joy in little things. I mean, this is their world, this is their bubble. They don't get out, they don't have extracurricular activities that they do, they don't have sports that they play on teams. And that's something that's very hard to swallow, because I feel like their childhood is being stolen from them. has been, is being stolen. Yet for the most part, they're so grateful, you know, for everything in life.